someone like Snell would be someone who would have a lot of involvement in the way that decisions are made. She's a good manager of people, and I think it's just one of those things that look, there's just nothing that she really can't do in this space that would, everything that she does will benefit the game. I think for me personally, in terms of what I would personally like to see, is that first of all, the number of teams. First of all, the number of teams at global events on the senior side, both men's and women's, in general, not enough. Not enough teams are able to represent those, and that's a very overarching point. But I think particularly now in the women's game, I think we're ready to go from 8 to 10 teams in the Women's Cricket World Cup to have 2 more teams there. I think we're probably ready for 2 more teams in the T20 World Cup as well. I think from the women's side, you would probably need to do it, those to go through global qualifiers like they have done in times gone past. We know that in the men's T20 World Cup for 2024, they're going to regional qualifying where you have a certain number of teams qualifying through each of the regions, and those being allocated instead of a global qualifier where you're pitting all the budding qualifying teams into it. I think that framework wouldn't necessarily work on the women's side just yet, but we need to have a global qualifier to ensure that we get the best representatives and the best teams playing against each other more ultimately. And that kind of goes into the next point, is that I don't know what the relationship is per se between, say, the ICC and the Asian Cricket Council, the ACC, but they seem to do a really good job with, say, the Women's Asia Cup and women's cricket in that region, where they have a lot of their qualifying either for ACC tournaments or through ICC tournaments done via sort of west and east zones first, and then they have their sort of global qualifier as well. And what it's meant is that a lot of women's international cricketers in that region quite simply play a lot of cricket, and that's the only way you're going to develop the game, is to have at an international level of competition.